Good evening, everybody, and thank you for following, by the way, Trusty96, just as we start another week of the Sim Hound Academy Challenge here at LMU at oNiD. And once again, I'm joined by Dave, and this time, Dave, we're at Sebring, an interesting track. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I've had mixed opinions as well. What do you think about it as we watch some drivers in qualifying tonight?
Sebring is a great track. Weather conditions aren't the best because it's early morning, it's freezing cold, the drivers are driving around on ice cubes. So there's been some complaints, but what do they know? Sebring is a great track. I will not have anything negative said.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that, I'm sure. 10 degrees currently on track, really quite chilly at the moment, but that's not stopping Max Farrell from putting in a great lap to begin with. Improves in the middle sector there, purple sector as well, and obviously improves on his personal best in the first sector, so really is pushing, obviously pushed down to 5th as it stands, and actually the time has just disappeared off the board as he goes on pole, and that's why the time is gone, because he started a new lap. 154.9. Again, I've got no idea, Dave, is that a good time here?
In the practice server last night, I think the quicker guys in the LMP2s were averaging in the 54s, which, considering how cold the track is, I didn't actually run the LMP2 round myself, so it's hard to say, but we'll see what the likes of Farrell Law and even Leon do, because they're usually the quick guys and they usually put in respectable times. Yep. But I ran the GT3 round last night, so I've got a reference time for that, but not quite for the LMP2s. But I see Hagen going round. Green first sector is going well.
Yeah, he certainly is there. As he rounds a corner, because I'm not too familiar with this. 10 apparently long, kind of a weird circuit really, isn't it? It's quite unusual, let's be honest, but looks like there's plenty of room to have some great battles tonight. Obviously lots of room on track, sideways, lots of interesting corners. The bumpy nature of the track as well is something that's often been commented on here, so certainly you don't want to be dealing with lockups and having to suffer through the vibrations doubly so, as obviously Hagen comes through the final sector, turn 15 through to 16 now, and then a long blast towards the final couple of corners. I'm going to say it's quite a long series of corners. It is.
I know the last one's called Sunset, the real long right-hander, and it's got that name because depending on the time of the day you're racing, you can't see the corner because of the sunset. Yeah,
well, certainly, I don't think something they're going to have to be dealing with tonight, but comes across the line. Will Matt Hagen eventually moves up to 3rd in class. Very nice job. Obviously, Farrell pushed down to 2nd. Ben Law sitting on pole in the LMP2s. But let's have a little look at the GT3, shall we? Athel Bascar here, currently in 8th in class, as he is on his way about halfway round a lap. I would say 1.9 seconds off of P7, so quite a bit of difference there. Quite a spread, it looks like, in the GT3 field actually. As
big snap of oversteer from Bascar there. Continues half a second up on the best time.
Yeah, definitely. And Stefan Reinhardt during that sneaking his way up to pole in the GT3 field, 6/10 off of John Cotty there. Nathan Turner obviously in 3rd as well. Again, a bit of an unusual gap really. 3.7 seconds, 4.6 below that. 4.1 now. Wilkes slots himself in there.
What is John Cotty doing in 2nd?
Sitting comfortably, it seems. A bit of a mix. Nathan Turner moving up to 3rd again in class. Max Savchuk slotting in 4th. Facing the wrong way, so probably will reset and go for another lap. It's going to be difficult, as you said, to get the tyres up to temperature tonight, obviously, with the track being so low, so cold. I think the drivers may be tempted, maybe mistakenly so, just to push a little bit more early on their banker laps, on their opening laps, to try and get the temperature in there. But is that the wrong approach? Do you think it's better to take it easy, drive slower, and just let the temperature naturally build up, or would that not work?
Yes, that is exactly it. Pushing on your outlaps, you are going to spin. Once you've spun, your tyres are cooked. It was taking me Bascar hit the inside wall. It was taking me around 4 or 5 laps to even get the tyres up to the 60 degrees last night. So I think the best thing for these would have been put 8 or 9 laps of fuel in, spend 5-6 laps warming them up, then go for 2 or 3 push laps.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like any of them have done that, but it just makes it more entertaining for us. As we see, Matt Holman subscribed for 36 months in a row. It's always good to have Hot Sauce Holman in the chat.
Indeed. What hot sauce? I feel like Matt Holman is our like hot sauce. You know those subscription boxes you can get? I feel like Matt Holman is our hot sauce subscription box. And each week it's a different variant of hot sauce. So let us know what you want.
Well, you know, it's Frank's hot sauce. He has it with his tuna.
Oh, okay, with his tuna.
Okay. No, he really does. I'm not even lying. It's why he's Hot Sauce Holman.
And the bus guy not going so great in the first sector on this lap. I think then you might be right with your suspicions of drivers just pushing straight out the gate, and that might explain the kind of big differences in lap times we've got. Obviously, some drivers will be improving as it goes on, as the temperatures come into a better kind of zone, versus drivers who are pushing on their first laps, and obviously tyres are nothing then, and the rest, the subsequent laps just aren't great. Obviously, they're not building up and working with those tyres at all, and then try and push even more to find that time, and it just doesn't work.
I'm expecting the fastest times to come in at the end as the tyres are hot, even that the track may have got a bit warmer. I think the people who get over the line very late for one more lap will be the drivers who benefit the most, because in these conditions it's all about getting the heat in your tyres. Yeah,
I think so. Should we go on board for a lap? Let's go on board with Ben Mayat here in his Lambo. Interesting sounding, great sound. A bit of understeer here, I think. Lots of understeer. Cold tyres, it looks like.
Very deep. Ben is taking some very strange lines, let's just say.
Yeah, I think you're quite right there. Struggling on the beginning of his lap.
Well, as we come to the hairpin, he should be braking just after the 400. Yeah, he's missed his braking point by quite a lot there. We didn't pick the best example to go on board with, did we?
No, I don't think so. Let's go with Ryan Davies, maybe, who's actually finishing a lap there. We can see the amount of steering lock he's cranking on to get some kind of turn in. That is not normal, surely. It feels like the rear is sliding all over the place, but purple in Sector 1, green in Sector 2 is clearly working, I think.
I'm wondering if Ryan has his steering ratio synced up to the car he's in the settings, because it looks like he's trying to drift the thing with that amount of steering lock.
Yeah, it does.
See the bumps.
Yeah, and actually this could be a great improvement here. It was a second up when we cut to him. Now 8 tenths up. We can see there on his steering wheel that green number slowly coming down. Purple in Sector 3. Enough for 4th. Not enough for an improvement, but it certainly does close the gap. It goes on for another lap. Obviously 3 minutes to go. Just under 2 minutes for a lap in the LMP2, just over 2 minutes for a lap in the GT car. I think there'll be a couple more laps if everyone's, been slightly smart with the fuel and the preparation. There's some more time.
I think we've got some commentators' curse here. Everyone we go on board with messes up.
Okay, there's only one solution for that, Dave. Let me click this button. There we go.
Put it on for Toy. Let's mess his race up.
Let's have a look. Where is Fatoy? I don't know if he's on track at the moment. He's in the pits.
He's probably confessing his love of SUVs as he was in the practice session last night.
Jesus.
He was putting some good... Oh, Aquadent was showing up in the placeholder car. We have Dean Smith, Forever Morning, was not in the practice session last night, so it'll be interesting to see how Dean gets on.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Dean Smith here, his best lap so far, 2 minutes and 3 tenths. We can see again on that steering wheel, nearly 2 seconds worth of improvement here, which is enough to jump him up at least a position, maybe even 2. So really is finding some time, as you say, nearer the end of the session. Obviously, it's private qualifying as well. I don't know if that means the track evolves the same way it would if everyone was on circuit. That'd be really interesting.
I think it still does, because when I'm out in qualifying, I have a DDU and it's got flags on the side of it that tell me if there's someone next to me.
Yeah.
And when you're driving around in a private qualifying session, they light up as if there's someone next to you.
Mm.
So I assume everyone is out on the track, but they just ghost it in some way.
Yeah. That's interesting. Moves up a place, does Dean Smith, by the way. So a nice little improvement near the end of the section here. Matt is awkward in there. We mentioned him earlier in the placeholder car. Moves up to 4th. So excellent improvement there. Really was quite valuable. That obviously we see him in the placeholder car, which means he's joined late anyway. So really on the back foot is he, as well as Rafael Lacerda there, I think we're going to go with. P14.
Well, that's the GT3 Porsche.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the most silent as well. It must be electric.
It's electric car championship.
Yeah.
Feet run real quick underneath.
Indeed. I wonder what it looks like from the inside. Well, there is no inside. This is it. This is the helmet cam.
You can see the tyres.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great stuff there. Let's go back to I was going to say a real car, but I don't think that'd be fair. Brian Anderson. P5.
Brian Anderson having a horrid time. Brian Anderson was looking half decent in practice last night, and he just really isn't putting it together now. He's going to run. Oh no, he's kept it on track. 204. That's not too bad for time. He's P6, so he's improved quite a lot. So we'll see if we can get any more improvement.
Yes, those target times they have on the screen is really unfair because it's the class leaders, the pulse leaders' time. So if you're there, P5, P6, P10, whatever it is, and you see target time, 3 seconds quicker, I've got no hope of doing that. Do you know what I mean? That's incredible. But I tell you what, Baskar, a 10th away from Reinhardt. That's an incredibly close gap, and so is Knowles, for some reason, from Law in the LMP2 for really close to the gap. So even a third there in third in the GT3, but then Cotty 1.8 seconds away. So
what is interesting, where is Leon Risprus usually sitting in pole position in the LMP2 class?
Yeah, I can't actually see him on the list, which will be crucial. We'll have a look at the standings in a moment, but yeah,
I think he knew he was going to bottle it, and he just hasn't done the race.
Yeah, no, that's totally possible. That's fair enough. There are drop rounds, so obviously if you do have a bad result, it's not all said and done. And Brian Anderson getting a bit of a hurry up, bit of a cheer in chat from Trusty96. So great job there. Weetabix as well, says Jay Cotty, randomly. Oh, right, of course. Weetabix that you've been feeding them, that's right. Yeah. It's a reference I made and I couldn't even remember.
He was Aquadent. Who was that with the purple first sector?
That is awkward, and we'll go with them. We'll stick with the placeholder car. Currently going through turn 10, I think this is. Cunningham, apparently, according to this track map I've got. It's a bit of an awkward lap because it's silent and we can't go on board, so a bit of a funny one. Ollie Knowles, by the way, sneaks up to pole in the LMP2 class on the final lap and just pips Ben Law.
That is a great lap from Ollie Knowles. But we'll see what Aquadent can do here, because purple first sector, not very good second sector. He's Lando Norris, the middle sector.
Yeah, he's scrubbed the middle sector. Yep. Bit of a wobble there as well.
Yeah, he's through the towel in.
Yep.
You're not coming back from 3.5 seconds in one sector. As we watch Matt Hagen in Spike the Dragon, the greatest LMP2 livery.
Yeah. A car we can go on board with, so let's do that. Down the gears, obviously. Bit of a long... Okay. Interesting.
This really is the curse of us, isn't it? Any car we go on board with.
Go to the grid for a race.
That's probably why then.
That'd be why. That's crashed my apps as well, so bear with me a second. I don't know what just happened, what he did, but give me a moment.
Few technical issues, please bear with us.
Let's do the quick starting order while I do this.
Right, so I'll run through it. So in P1 we have Ollie Knowles with Ben Law second on the front row. Second row, we have Max Farrell and Mathis Aquadent. Hopefully he'll be in the proper car during the race. Third row, we have Ryan the Spinner Davies, followed by Matthias Fusigan. Fourth row, we have Matt Hagen/Hogan and the SUV lover himself, Baton for Toy. Next row, we have Dan, who loves an update, Stevens, and Dean Smith. followed by Mark Grevesmull and Fiona Zombie. I think that's the last of the LMP2s.
Yes, I think
no,
so.
it's not. We have Leon at the very back. I assume he must have gone in the session, but we have Raphael in first place, Baskar second, followed by Reinhardt third in the GT3 class. John Cotty and Nathan Turner follow those two. Brian Anderson and Tim Bob on the row behind.
Formation lap has started.
Norman Bruce and Max Savchuk follow those two.
Yeah.
We have Ben Myatt and Darren Norwing Wilkes.
That's the end of the grid. That's why it's not continuing. Sorry, that's my fault.
No, that is the end of the grid. Oh, we've got someone off at the back already.
Oops.
They've span it on a straight. It looks like an LMP2 car.
Yeah, I can't see who that is though. Oh, it's Mark Grevesmull, who for some reason is at the back. Oh, yeah, because he's ignore me. Usually he'd be at the front. There is collision on the formation. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is interesting to say the least.
Yeah. Before we've even started the race.
As Domo the Russian says, the ballet has begun.
Yeah, it's going to be really tricky, at the start. 9 degrees on track straight, 11 degrees now. It's gone up a little bit. So really, drivers finding that balance of not pushing, but also not losing out positions early on. Let's see then.
Grevesmull is going to have a horrible first lap trying to get past those GT3s. That's me, Ollie Knowles and Ben Law, both heading towards T1. Ben Law has a pit. I think both Ollie Knowles has the inside line. We have
three of them.
Contact. The front three all decided to take each other out, and that has left. Is it Aquadent through? Ryan Davies?
Would you believe it? Ryan Davies, the spinner himself, leading the way apparently. Ollie Knowles obviously not far behind at all. Matthias Fuskin in third, Aquadent in fourth, Matt Hagan coming under pressure from Ben Law for fifth and sixth. We have Fiona having an issue further on in the background. There they are, obviously recovering now. The GT3s themselves, Rafael Athenda here, leading the way, letting the LMP2 cars go by, obviously, although this technically is for position overall, but the Mustang getting out of the way in good time. But an LMP2 of Fatoy, I believe, locking up the brakes, sending it like a missile.
Got some go. Do you want to know an interesting fact as well, Sam?
Go on.
Is it Lacerda? If I butcher your name, I apologize. I think he's on controller.
Oh, wow. That is very interesting, as these two fighting along through the corner. Obviously, that LMP2 wants to get going as quick as they can and get back to the core of the pack, if you like, where they belong. Aquadent here on the back of Ben Law, as we were saying. A little bit of a pack here, one mistake, and many positions lost, but it can be too easy to just push a bit too hard at the early stage of the race. Cold the tires, you're still getting up to grips with all the traffic around you, and miss out on your position.
Ryan Davies has put a decent little gap between then Ollie Knowles an even bigger gap. As we see, is that Ben Law?
Yeah.
On the back of Aquadent, looking for the move. Who's going to be the latest breakers going into sunset? The interesting thing about this corner is there's so many different lines you take. As you look at Matt Hagan flying up the inside, we have Ben and Norman Bruce here. Who's going to be the bravest? Norman Bruce is about to lose 2 places in one corner.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe just getting a bit spooked by Ben Myatt's turn of speed, and almost ends up in the wall. There does the Ferrari of Norman Bruce, it seems.
Well, that was quite an opening lap.
Yeah, you could say that. 50 minutes to go, and this is going to be a tough 50 minutes. Look at the gap, by the way, on the track map between Ollie Knowles in P2 and Matthias Fuskin, 3.5 seconds down. Ollie Knowles putting the pressure on Ryan Davies. Max Farrell causing a yellow flag, stopped, facing the wrong way on the second. Gets going again as the entire pack has gone through and clips the other wall for good measure. Look at the damage on the front of that LMP2.
Max Farrell in his natural habitat, the wall. And Ben, what has gone wrong with Ben?
Let's have a little look. There's Max Farrell on the side there, who we just saw. Ben Myatt coming around the left-hander, over the curb, unsettles the rear, and just hit the wall. Cold tyres on the grass.
Did a stoppie. I think you've seen what Max Farrell was doing and think, I want a bit of that action.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Shame Ben was having a strong race. Oh, is that Ben Law?
Oh, and Ben Law joined Baton for Joy, joining him for some company, it seems. Let's have a little look at that as well.
There was a silver LMP2 off there as well. Oh, that is a big drift.
Yeah, just caught the curb there. We can go back a bit further, but I think we saw what happened. Anyway, done with the rest in chat. Okay, now I wonder, what's up with Dean? He had his Weetabix, I think is what happened there. LMP2 going wide there, as you saw in the background as well. All kicking off in the LMP2, struggling it seems. I think they rely on the downforce so much more that, they're trying to go quicker to have that grip, but the tyres just aren't able to cope.
We have Grevschuh and Reinhardt in the pit already in the GE3 class, who was running in a decent GE3 position at the start. I'm wondering if he's had some kind of issue.
Some kind of issue and some kind of penalty, I think. Yeah, Reinhardt, Grevschuh, and John Cotti showing on my screen as to have received a penalty of sorts. So maybe that's a drive-through, maybe that's a stop-go. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, they have to serve that, and that's not going to help their race. So maybe some starting infringements or track limits, maybe, or illegal overtakes.
Well, we did see Grevschuh.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing at the start, but it was interesting at the least, and it's clearly given him a stop-go.
Well, I think he's just sped in the pit lane as well, because another penalty's popped up for him. We can see at the top of the screen, penalty Grevschuh. He has two. Well, he had two. He served one, must have sped in or sped out, because he's got another one to serve.
It's not Grevschuh's night. Well, actually, Ryan Davies and Ollie Knowles, it's getting close at the front.
Yeah, really, really, really close between Ollie Knowles and Ryan Davies, putting the pressure on. And this isn't something that Ryan, Davies wants. He can't relax, can't take care of those tyres, get them up to where it needs to be, get into a rhythm. When you've got Ollie Knowles all up your chuff like this, trying to get past, going around the outside almost, coming up with a major momentum against him.
Can we put a poll in the chat?
We can, yes.
Who is going to spin first, Ollie Knowles or Ryan Davies?
Right, I'll sort that out. You talk about this.
Actually, Ryan Davies has gone wide. That has let Ollie Knowles past. So we have a change of position for P1. Now, as Hot Sauce Holman says, scrapping teammate up.
I couldn't type it quick enough. Was
that Ollie Knowles? I was about to put 1,000 points on Ollie Knowles as well.
Yeah, all right. Well,
that pulls out the window. He's lost his rear wing. He's going to have to slow down a bit sooner.
Has he not realised until waiting? Luckily, you've got all the runoff in the world here at Sebring into the wall. Nevertheless, for Ollie and all his pirouettes, we are going to watch that again because it was somewhat glorious. Going to find out his O-rings is Ben.
I was just hoping he didn't hit the. Oh.
Someone mentioned Swan Lake earlier. Just play some Tchaikovsky over that, and there you go.
Matt Holman says, "Does he still get points?" You don't. Domo the Russian has too much brake pressure. No, when you lose your rear wing, your back end just does what it wants. As Ollie is clearly shown, this isn't the best track to lose your wing on at T1 either.
No, it's not. It's not ideal. Well, let's watch someone who has got a rear wing.
Let's watch some GE3s as well, so we don't get any complaints from Mark Racing. Battle for P3 here. Nathan Turner putting in a great race, followed by Max Farrell. No, don't reverse too. And Fiona Zombie. We needed a spin counter for this race, didn't we?
We did. That's Fiona. Kicking up Max Farrell there, unfortunately.
That one's hanging in an art gallery. That was beautiful.
Yeah. I don't think we need to say too much about that one.
No, it's funny because after the coaching session, I was saying to Stevie Bain last night, tomorrow's race is going to be entertaining due to the cold temperatures, and it's exactly what's provided.
Yeah, and it's only
as Ollie
Knowles in the background. I'm sorry, that was too funny.
He should be near the pit entrance now, surely. Oh, that is Grevschuh as well.
Getting lapped as well is Grevschuh there, obviously recovering from an incident after his penalty. Let's watch that happen again.
Oh, Oh, bit of a lock-up.
Got it stopped though, at least. Very nice.
Yeah, he's going to have Minecraft tyres, but at least he didn't go into the wall.
And obviously Ollie knows entered the pits, as for Toy also loops it around at turn 3, I better say. And
these
Fuskin,
these LMP2s are just great entertainment, aren't they?
I know.
Fuskin was 4th.
Yeah, well, let's have a little look what happened to him. Doesn't decide. Oh no. Oh, just loses the too much roll. Okay. Understandably, why he had too much brakes on. Yep.
Yeah, you come round a hairpin turn and there is a car facing you. Not. Oh,
This is the onboard view.
Let's have a look.
Wow, very good avoid, because that was just behind the tyre wall. With lots of steering as well, so easy to make a mistake. Got it done.
That was well avoided, to be fair. It's lucky that wasn't Max Farrell facing the way, because he'd have drove into him.
Yeah. But we are a welcoming community.
But, as we see, now Ryan Davies back in P1, because Ollie Knowles did his best Ryan Davies impression. Is it Mathis Ockudent?
Yeah.
All over the back of Ryan Davies, carrying a lot more speed, it looks like. But it's one thing catching up, getting an overtake done here. Once you get off this main start-finish section, it's pretty difficult.
It is, and something else I've noticed. Leon Vesperus in the pits.
He is full landownerist.
Yeah.
That's what he's done. He's done the meme where you can't bottle it if you don't race.
Yeah. That's true.
We've got Ben in the chat, Ben reckons he could teach a thing or two to the LMP2 drivers. As we see, Matt Hagan P3.
Yeah, Matthias Fuskin, not far behind though, is he?
Yeah, Hagan took advantage of Fuskin having a pirouette moment. So that is P1 and P2 and P3 and P4, both in close battles.
Yeah, and even closer, Norman Bruce, Stefan Reinhardt going side by side towards the final corner here. Ferrari on Ferrari. Reinhardt just gets ahead there for now, at least. Look at how bumpy it was with the 296s coming through in this section. Really bumpy, but behind the LMP2 now, stuck is Reinhardt, it seems. But the LMP2 luckily pulls away and lets these two continue.
GT3 was catching the LMP2 around that final corner.
Yeah, well, I think the GT3s have a bit more mechanical grip, don't they? They don't rely so much on the area.
Oh. Reinhardt pulling a bit away from... Who was it behind him?
Norman Bruce.
Norman Bruce.
Which sounds like another name for... You know how there's Superman and Clark Kent? I feel like Norman Bruce would be the normal name for a superhero. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Never trust a man with 2 first names. And I spy a wild Ben Myatt just behind here. After his opening lap mishap and his extended stay in the pit, he is back out. Is this for position as well?
I don't know.
Ollie Knowles is the car ahead.
Yeah. How has this happened?
I don't know. It's just there's that much went on at the start of this race. I'm lost.
He has stopped, has Ben Myatt, for 2 minutes actually. So yeah, it's a whole lap. So he's a lap down.
He hit the barrier and did the stoppie, didn't he?
Of course, we did see that.
I'm sure he is providing Matt Wilmot with plenty of colourful commentary in the chat that they're in. As we see, Fuskin still chasing down Matt Hagan.
Yeah, both these drivers refusing to make mistakes. But obviously, there's been enough laps now where they're comfortable enough with how the car feels. That there is some temperature, at least, in those tyres. They have a bit more braking performance. They have a bit more confidence in the car, turning it in, etc. Saying that, there is a yellow flag for Baton Fatoy here, who's recovering outside the hairpin there at turn 7.
Fatoy. What's he done? Let's have a look. He's locked his brake, hasn't he? Oh no, he hasn't. He's too much right foot is what he's done.
Yeah.
Considering he's just bought some fancy new brakes, you think he'd have the car under better control.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But do I see Dean Smith in 6th place?
Let's have a little look. See, Dean Smith is in 6th place. Yeah. Yeah, and quite a gap to Patoy. He has about the same gap he has just to Ben Law. So in the middle between these two cars is Dean Smith. Last lap, where is it? Last lap slightly slower, I'm not going to lie, than Patoy. So I think this will be...
He's keeping it on the track, whereas Patoy isn't.
Yes, very good point there. Very good point indeed. What else? With the GT3s, obviously battling away. Stefan Reinhardt still in the Ferrari there, trying to catch back up to Brian Anderson, who passed him some corners ago. John Cotty also now down to 18th overall.
John Cotty had good qualifying.
Yeah, down 5 places. Down since the beginning. 4th in class did he qualify. So now he's in 9th.
Chasing Norman Bruce, but he has Ben Myatt between him and Bruce. So it'd be interesting to see how he can get around Ben and then take the battle to Norman.
That's true. He was 3 seconds quicker than Norman last lap. Obviously, Norman having a particularly slow lap previously. But, you know...
he's ran a bit wide, bit of a snap as well. He's going to find it hard to get past Ben, though, because Ben has the slipstream from Norman.
Yeah.
So, realistically, John Cotty's going to have to do a double overtake in one.
Yeah. Nathan Turner briefly showing his yellow flag, but he's going.
Wasn't Turner fighting somebody?
He might have been. He started... he's up 2 places from the start.
Yeah, he's P3 in class. I was sure he was having a battle with somebody. I'm assuming they have ejected themselves somewhere.
Well, there's Tim Bob not too far behind. And there's obviously Athabasca further up the order. Maybe someone's dropped it along the way. We've got Matt Hagen, by the way, here. Getting closer and closer to Matthias Fuskin for P3 in the LMP2 field.
Getting the move done. It's alright getting close, but it's getting the move done, especially in the LMP2s where a lot of overtake will be done on the brakes and it is bouncy. You've got to get it right, otherwise you are going to do an ollie nulls.
Yeah, indeed, you've got to get it right, and you know it's hard to judge, you know, say in these tricky conditions, especially if you're trying to go on the inside on the brakes. It's hard to judge how much, you know, to get that right without the other car just going on round you on the outside with some momentum.
It's great for us though, because if they get it right, we have a great overtake. If they get it wrong, we have some entertainment. That's true, and I can never remember. Do the LMP2s need to stop this race? The GT3s can obviously go to the end, I believe. I'm not making any more predictions because the last 2 races I've said the LMP2s need to stop, and I've been made to look like an idiot, so I'm just not making predictions no more. Okay, alright, well it's a long lap. It's, I think it's about 6 kilometers or something like that here, so fairly long. That could be way off, I can't remember. A lot of it is on full throttle as well. Yeah. But we need Scotty, the fuel expert here. Scotty will calculate it to the dot. We now start to have traffic. As you can see, Hagen flashing his light to let the GT3s know he's coming. It'll be interesting to see how much the LMP2s are held up by the GT3s, which it looks like Fuskin has been, which has let Hagen get a bit closer.
Yeah, closer and closer. Was 2/10 slower last lap than Fuskin, but you know, traffic can throw that all out the window. We do see some GT3s behind them now, so that's like the way. They do have a bit of a gap on the track map there before any new traffic appears. I'm trying to see. We've also got Norman Bruce, who we were talking about obviously moments ago, right in the back of John Cotty now, pushing that McLaren along almost, trying to get past the McLaren onto the curbs a bit too much, unsettles the rear big time. Luckily, John able to keep hold of it.
Cotty got the overtake done because Cotty was behind Norman Bruce because Ben Myatt was in between them, and Ben Myatt has passed the 2 of them.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. Very good point.
So, not sure what's happened there, but John Cotty will be happy with the positions gained. Another close battle for position is Reinhardt and Savchuk. Oh, there goes an LMP2. I'm not sure who that is, but they went off-roaded.
I guess.
Oh, is it Ryan?
It is Ryan, yep.
Oh, Ryan, what have you done? Been having such a strong race. Oh, that looks like a hard way.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that... I'm not sure what has happened there.
Still going. Into the pits.
It's going to the pits. Oh, his steering looks a bit wrong.
I think so. I don't think that's quite.
It's not quite straight. Let's just say.
No, I think we can say that. Except Reinhardt side by side. Sorry, with Max Savchuk there, by the way. Max Savchuk obviously in the Aston Martin.
I was going to say that Ryan should be used to a steering being like that because he's usually in the wall, so that's kind of like his normal driving style. As we see Reinhardt dive up the inside and's got the move done.
Taking advantage of the LMP2 car there going on by. Yeah, nicely done there for Stefan, up to 5th.
Yep, and now I've just noticed Oquidon is now well in P1 in the race. 11 seconds clear of Fusgen. It's worked out pretty well for Oquidon.
Yeah, well, this is our 3rd leader in 20 minutes, so, you know, maybe there'll be a bit more rotation.
Oh, it looks like Hagen has fell back from Fusgen quite a bit as we watch Grev Schmuel, who I think is our candidate for most unlucky of the evening. Really not having a great time. Let's see how this ended. Ooh.
Big rear lock there. Oh, big rear hit into the wall as well.
Lucky he has his wing left.
Yes, indeed.
As we say, not Max Farrell tonight, it's Min Farrell.
Indeed, and started 3rd in this race.
Ryan Davies in the chat. Delete an LMU, thanks, bye.
Okay. I'll see you next week, Ryan.
Yeah, we'll see you next week, Ryan. You've got to keep it. You provide to him. Oh, that is Max Farrell again.
I think it's broken.
Did he try to break that? Is he just messing around now? Because that looked a bit nuts.
Well, obviously he had an issue. Oh, he just got to the grass there.
Oh, yeah, the car does what the car wants.
Indeed, and he's still sat there instead of Farrell.
I think he's just retired from the race because it looked like he was in the pits. Oh, Ryan Davies is blaming a game freeze.
Okay.
He's pulled that one out of the race and drive excuse book.
Yeah. There's a fair few of them, to be fair, in the book. Ben Law exiting the pits now, by the way, obviously having stopped for fuel, I suppose, in this race.
P5?
Yeah. And who's to say it'll stop there? Max Farrell's still sitting, thinking about what he's done, facing a different wall now, though.
What we need is a Photoshop a little gun's hat on top of Max's car there, so you just sit there and think about what he's done. Yeah,
well, he's thought about it and he's returned to the pits. That's what he's decided to do. Which, funny enough, has put him behind Leon Vespris.
Even though Leon didn't start.
Yeah, that's another one, isn't it?
They're both getting DNFs, so... As we watch Savchuk chasing Tim Bob...
Until we were interrupted
Matt
by the wall rider, Matt Hagen. Matt Hagen. We're going to watch how that started. We spend more time in replays than we do at live, don't we, at the moment?
What is absolutely crazy is the amount of spins and offsat for Toya's had in P4.
Yeah.
which I can't quite work out how, but he's managed it. Hagen taking the DHL board with him there as a souvenir.
Let's go on board, shall we? With
yeah, we'll watch Savchuk chase down Tim Bob. It'll be interesting to see the different lines that do the same. Ooh,
Hagen. Sorry, Hagen stops facing the wrong way on circuit. That really big issue.
Well, it's the best place to spin.
Yep.
Back on board with Savchuk chasing down Tim Bob.
Dean Smith up to third.
Right, new pole time. Will Dean Smith get a podium?
I think that sounds like an excellent idea. Let me sort that out while you...
Yeah, as we watch Savchuk chasing down Tim Bob, be interested to see the different lines these cars take. One being mid-engine, one being front-engined. Tim Bob getting a great exit. He's an LMP2 behind now, a bit of traffic, which is going to catch Tim Bob at the wrong time. Can Savchuk take advantage of this? Oh, Tim Bob's holding on well. Yeah, Tim Bob's pulling away. That McLaren looks a lot racier than the Aston Martin does around here. The LMP2 cannot get past the mighty Tim Bob. While Savchuk can't get close enough to it, we will just enjoy the glorious sound of the Aston Martin V8.
I'll leave it open for 10 minutes, shall we? That's enough time.
Yeah.
There we go.
The prediction aside, anyone watching, use your channel points. Get vote. Will Dean Smith finish on the podium is the big question.
Oops.
I'm going to put a prediction in myself. There we go.
Doing well so far. It must be set. 24 minutes to go. Not the longest time, really. Raphael Lacerda here, still leading, by the way, in the GT2 field in that little Mustang. At home here really is the Mustang, isn't it? Although it has got to make some right turns.
Yes, the right turns are a bit early into it, but the Mustang does look a great car to drive around here. It just looks planted. It just looks nice to drive. We have some people vote. Someone's put 10,000 channel points on Dean Smith to get a podium.
Yeah, that's I can't remember how to say it. 16 versus you and someone else joining you and saying no there. So
I've only put no because then if he doesn't get a podium, I get points. If he does get a podium, I'm happy to lose it because I would be over the moon to see Dean get a podium.
It's like a win-win then.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I can't lose. Unlike Savchuk, who's got a bit deep there. Still chasing Tim Bob.
Yeah, indeed. Still chasing down the McLaren just ahead of him there. Obviously, kind of learning, I suppose, how the driver in front is coping. But, you know, sometimes you get to this point in the race, particularly if it's a tricky one, and, you know, even if that car is a second ahead of you, you think, you know, I'm just going to focus now on staying on track, putting in some decent laps, and, you know, consolidating my 3 positions gained in Savchuk's case. Obviously up from 9th on the grid, so 6th in class as it stands. So yeah, I mean, a lot of drivers really do a great job finding the improvements, and now probably just consolidating and keeping it tidy, hopefully.
Consistency is key, and as Savchuk, he can afford to just sit behind, see if Tim Bob makes any mistakes, and if not, then you can push on the last 2 or 3 laps to try and get the move done.
Indeed. Now here's the battle that matters.
Here it is.
4th is catching too fast. Well, he's catching, he's caught, and now
he's
Is he passed? He is passed. Am I asleep? I don't know what's happening here. He is passed, but obviously we'll let the pole go for the rest of the time. And obviously, it's a podium finish, not a podium at 21 minutes. So there's still time for Ben, Law, Fusk, and Ockenden to make an error. And there's still strategy to consider.
Yes, the strategy. Ben Law already has pinned it once. I bet Dean is in the pits. That's why. As we see Ben Meyer with his wingless Lamborghini. Broken steering, no wing.
Yeah, we're taking it quite gentle now, I hope. There's a long way to go.
He's only at the start of the lap. This is going to be a painful lap for Ben. Reinhardt chasing down Turner. This is for P4, I think. Oh no, P3.
That's a sad-looking McLaren there. Let's have a look how we got into that situation. Oh.
Well, I don't know what to say about that.
The car is embedded into the wall as well. You can hear it. It's very much, stuck there.
They'll need King Arthur to pull that out. It's stuck into that wall. As we go back to Reinhardt and Turner. Ferrari taking a very wide exit. It's a drag race down to T1. The BMW looks like it has the legs, but the Ferrari will have the slipstream. And will Reinhardt make the cheeky move? No, Turner gets the inside line, but there is some traffic coming through.
Yep, and obviously LMP2's coming. A bit of a curb taken, a lot of curb in fact taken by the car behind. This is Fiona Zombie apparently, and Ollie Knowles. Fiona just waiting for Ollie to drop it, I'm sure, and then sail on by without too much of an issue. Tim Bob though with an issue.
Oh, Tim Bob, at least he's got going again. He's somehow pulled his McLaren out of the tyre wall.
Yeah.
Should we go on board and see how broken his steering is?
Alright, let's have a little look, shall we?
It looks alright.
Too bad, yeah. Let's see what it's like when he gets onto the brakes, though, eventually, at the hairpin. Here's a corner to test your luck. Does a bit of a wobble to feel the car onto the brakes. Trying to keep it in line with the steering. It looks like lots of steering lock onto the power. I think that's fine. That's drivable.
It looks alright, considering the crash he had.
Yeah.
The car looked very wobbly, though. I don't...
Oops.
As that Reinhardt has got past Turner.
Yeah, we missed that, unfortunately. But, yeah, a very wobbly car has Tim Bob and has Max Sabchuk closing in on him as well. Although Sabchuk themselves must have had an issue last lap because they were 12 seconds slower than the average, or I should say 12 seconds slower than Tim Bob last lap.
Tim Bob didn't have the greatest lap himself.
Okay.
He spent half of it shoved in the tyre wall.
Here's Mark Grevel recovering from the tyre wall, but I think he's left something behind.
Do you know what is interesting though? I think the leader of GT3. I think the leader of the GT3 class is still gone. Who is it? Who's in box? My bad. Just had one of the drivers tell me that the car's died. I thought it was Lacerda, but it is not. He is having a very comfortable race. This is his first race. He was a late joiner in the championship. First race, and he's putting in a great performance. As we see, Grev Smool, no wing, no hopes, no pride, just wall.
Just wall.
Yeah. Dean Smith chasing Matt Hagen down though.
Yeah, I think Matt Hagan recently overtook Dean, and now Matt's pulling away. Although, no, that's correct. Yellow flag again, obviously for Mark Grebschmall popping up there. Matt Hagan up to 5th. Baton for Toy 43 seconds away. So it might be off the cards yet. Incredible the gaps tonight. I mean, we see it sometimes with, we saw it at Qatar and the other series, just, a new track, lots of drivers getting used to it. But here, massive, gaps. I wonder if it's just the cold temperature causing drivers to struggle with confidence or losing the car in some of these corners and then just driving with damage.
It is. Did we get a something? Oh, Ben
went absolutely wild.
Ben has went absolutely nuts. What a crazy guy. I would say thank you, but Ben is more oNiD than me, so saying thank you to him seems irrelevant.
Yeah, I know,
but yeah, giving out a lot of tier 1 subs, so if you are on the receiving end of one of Ben's gifts, give him a thank you.
Indeed, there's a few of them. There's 5 of them there in chat apparently. Dean Smith down to 6. We see Ben Meyer at the back when they're struggling. Obviously did recover to the pits, did get a new wing, and has got going. Oh, that sounds glorious, does that Lambo? But the sound's not going to help Ben catch up to Brian Anderson.
You're reminiscent of the Audi, aren't you? That's exactly what you're doing.
It is. That's what I'm doing, yeah. I did like the Lambo in ACC. I did drive it at Imola, and it just flicked its way through the chicanes. It was quite nice.
Yeah, but you used to get Lambo drift, and once Lambo drift started, it never stopped.
Yeah, that's a funny way to say skill issue, to be honest.
Well. I've seen very talented drivers lose a Lamborghini, so I think it's a bit more than a skill issue.
No, that's fair enough. To be fair, that says me who all he did was complain about the Audi but drive it non-stop, so... Yeah. Rafael Lacerda here, comfortably leading the race so far, but now has Athol Baskar 1.5 less than that now, seconds behind him. Obviously Athol there in the BMW has caught up to Rafael.
You mean the Mustang?
What did I say?
Both of them. You said BMW,
right.
The both Mustangs.
Yeah, sorry, my mistake.
What's interesting as well is Rafael and Baskar are both friends, if I think, because I think it was Baskar who introduced Rafael to this league. So we'll see how Baskar feels letting his friend come in and beat him. Will that drive him to try and get a move done?
Well, yeah, usually you're a little bit rougher. You can push a little bit further, I think, with your friends, who will drive the same way to you and, are going to be a bit more understanding. But is catching up is Baskar. Last lap, by the way, and this must be traffic, 2.5 seconds quicker was Baskar to Lacerda. And fastest lap was only a 10th quicker ever overall of the race, obviously. So interesting there. Yellow flag for Matt Hagan, facing the wrong way in his LMP2 car there.
That should have put Dean Smith up to 5th, should it not?
Well, here's Dean Smith. And
5th place.
Straight on by, yeah.
Smith is 51 seconds behind for Toy, who was 33 seconds behind. So I think my channel points are safe. Unless a meteor strike happens and kills everyone on track apart from Dean Smith, and I could hear a crash in the background.
Yeah, me too. There's Grebschmall getting going again after his crash without a wing, so a bit of weight saving.
I think he spent more time in the race with no wing than with a wing.
Mark, no wing Grebschmall, the one and only.
He's doing his best Darren Wilkes impression. That car looks extremely...
Yeah. You have to totally reconsider what you're doing when you lose a wing. You can't even accelerate. You don't have the grip. And look at the rake, by the way.
Yeah.
The LMP2 obviously missing the rear downforce. Yeah, the rear is so much higher as well. It's mesmerising, really, isn't it? We should watch some battles, but this is...
The car's a bit side... Ooh, that does not... At this point, it's probably best just DNFing, isn't it? If we're being honest.
This is the promised ballet, so succeed in chat. Oh dear, we could clip together all these little spin highlights from this race and have a little Swan Lake compilation. He's driving backwards better than he's been driving forwards.
He's driving backwards. He's going to have. He should know in the driver brief is if you get damaged, make your way back to the pit safely.
We should.
I'm starting to think he had a bit to drink.
Well, if he hasn't, his car has. Look at that. I think we've shamed him enough. Let's watch a battle, shall we?
Yeah, he's more on the grass for the track caretaker.
Indeed. Athel and Raphael here, battling away still. Briefly, I think it was 5/10 was the gap. Now it's obviously grown as they ebb and flow. 11 minutes to go. Another consideration, obviously, the G3s can go the distance without topping up topping up fuel, changing the tyres, etc. I wonder if some drivers will be fuel saving a bit then. Just wait.
What are the lap times?
Yeah, what are the lap times? Let's have a look. 2:05 dead was Raphael's lap time last lap. 2 minutes, 5 seconds, and 2/10 was Basquiat's last lap. So very close.
I don't think the fuel saving on that, and it looks like Matt Hagan has withdrawn.
Along with Max Sevchuk's wing, it seems.
Yep, he's got the rear wing delete mod. It looks strange without the rear wing.
It does. It's like the 296. Oh, he's lost it even before. Oh, obviously, he's had an instant. He's caused the wing to be gone. So
he's gone full. If he could have held that there, that'd have been fantastic.
It would have been absolutely
strange. Looks strange without the rear wing, that car.
Yeah, it does. It's like when someone gets a haircut coming from like, dreadlocks or something.
Oh, there he was at Matt Hagan. His game had crashed, which is a shame. But it's given Dean Smith a place. Dean Smith's P4, 92 seconds behind Ben Law. Channel points are safe at the moment. Bev Schmuel. Has he got his wing back yet? Or is he still not been at the pits?
I thought he had. Nope.
No, but as Ollie Knowles chasing down Dean Smith. Dean's drove a great race. I always look for ammunition to take the mick out of Dean and give him a wind up, but hats off to him tonight. He's drove great. Yeah,
really, I think has not had any big issues, or I can't think of any issues really. Driving nice lines here, taking that curb really nicely, using obviously all the exit there onto the power. Now had to defend from Ollie Knowles, who's in the slipstream obviously, as they head down towards the final corner now. Side by side almost. How's Dean going to respond? I think he lets him go.
Dean takes a very wide entrance. Is Dean going to try and get the cup back? No, he's too far back.
Yeah, it almost looked like he was letting him go, but either way, for the greater good, I suppose. Up 5 places, can you believe that? Is Dean Smith, so great improvement. Will be a great result. Will it be his best result?
The move has been made in GE3. Bascar has taken the lead.
Let's have a quick look. Shall we see if I can spot that? But they're both in Mustangs, so which one's which?
The one behind is Bascar, I think. Yes. Yeah. Just gets his nose ahead. Both take a very similar line. Bascar just gets the inside one a bit more. Yeah. And that is P1. He is seen his friend come into the series and challenge him, and he slapped him, put him back in his place. Be like, P1 is mine. Nathan Turner
pits from P3, by the way, in pass. Stefan Reinhardt, who's coming round the corner before the pit entry, I believe.
So what is Reinhardt? Is he gonna? No, that's just a straight, isn't it? He's passed.
What's happened here? My favourite kind of incident is the pit lane incidents because they're just so funny. Let's have a little look. Sorry. This is Nathan Turner in the pit lane, obviously.
Yep. Looks like he's just having a splash and dash. Oh.
Oh, just a bonk. But didn't...
it wasn't as crazy as we expected, like the world's slowest crash.
Yeah. So GT3 cars, they're not able to go the full duration, it seems, on one tank. Maybe the extra fuel usage, you know, not quite...
You say that, but Baskar and Raphael at the front, they both still have not stopped, I don't think.
No, not yet, no.
Reinhardt hasn't, Tim Bob hasn't. I'm not sure on the rest.
Well, let's have a little look if I click this button. And it does nothing. Okay.
We just have to go by our estimates. I know that the two leaders haven't stopped, the two GT3s at the front.
There we go.
Here we are. So Baskar and Raphael haven't. Tim Bob hasn't. Norwing Wilkes hasn't. Leon hasn't, but he hasn't left the pits technically. Yeah, so the leaders are still doing decent pace, and they're managing the fuel save at the same time.
Yeah.
Great race from these two.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go on board, shall we, with Raphael. See how much he's pushing to catch up to Baskar ahead for the lead of the GT3 field. Slightly faster in the speed trap by 1 kph is Baskar, by the way. So getting a slightly better exit, seems, than Raphael.
You can tell Raphael is using a controller by those steering inputs.
I'd forgotten completely about that. Yeah, so at a disadvantage, but clearly really comfortable with a controller. Has to be nerfed to a controller, it seems, because if he was on a steering wheel and pedals, can you imagine?
You say that, but you look at Tyler Hammer, who races with us. He has a wheel setup, but he prefers to use controller because he's faster on it. It's just preference, really. Obviously, not everyone has the space for a full sim setup, but it just shows it can be done on controller. We may laugh and point at you, but it can be done. As we see LMP2 go past. Baskar is pulling away a bit now, isn't he?
He is, yeah. I mean, Raphael, he's doing a great job, but it is slightly at a disadvantage, I must say, from being on a controller.
His first race, though, first race in the championship come in, P2 in class is not a bad result at all.
Certainly not.
Play.
And he put it on pole.
Yeah, pole position as well. He was leading for the majority of the race as well. Baskar's only recently took the lead off him. So Tim Bob is currently 4th. Nathan Turner chased him down for 5th. Or 4th, sorry, in 5th place. 3 minutes. It's going to be a tough ask for Nathan Turner.
Yeah, we'll be a second away from Tim Bob. But last lap was 1.1 seconds quicker, so maybe there is enough of a pace difference there to get past. Obviously, if they're catching up one thing, finding the room to get the job done and getting it done safely is an entirely different thing. You know, you spend some laps just getting ready to get the job done, spending time side by side, and then finally getting ahead and pulling away. So
doesn't look like there's any LMP2 traffic coming either to give Turner the assist.
Yeah.
So it's just going to have to be hard work.
Yeah, the LMP2 field really are quite spread out now as well. So obviously difference of pace as well, and you kind of mentally as well kind of get complacent. I think you finally get up to speed on the track.
That was a funny line.
What? Mentally become complacent?
No, Nathan Turner's line through that corner there. He just fully cut it.
Yeah. That's fair enough, yeah, to completely cut the corner. I didn't say anything that unusual. But I'll finish that sentence quickly. You might look at your MFD and see the gap's 25 seconds and think, I'm not going to try too hard then. The gap's too big already by the time you become comfortable with the track. So that's where I was going with that. But it's good. It's a learning space. So sure, they may not be...
Right, Basker's in the pit.
Basker is in the pit. Interesting then. We'll have to see if Raphael responds or if he even needs to. But sure, you might not be in any battles after half an hour, but you're still learning, you're still developing. And if you're not thinking you are slightly getting better with your fidelity on the pedals, being smoother on the steering wheel and learning the track as well.
Because Basker is in the pit, can we see the virtual energy, or is that not something we can see at the moment?
We can see it on his little screen there, 14 it says.
I was more looking
Basker.
for Raphael's at the front.
Well, there you go. 0.4 for Raphael. So obviously Basker spotted that and he's got down to 0. So obviously Basker, being the more experienced driver, noticing that, topping it up.
Yeah, so that is going to be a pretty hefty drive through for Raphael. Which is a shame. What replay do we have here? Ryan Davies.
Oh.
Absolutely beautiful.
It was a little bit silly. But thank you for sharing.
I think he was a bit put off by the GT3. He's thought, you know what, I haven't done enough spins this race, I'll just go head in the wall. I think for toys, going well. Dean Smith still. Oh, it is turn to go and get the move done on Tim Bob. Who is going to be the bravest on the brakes? Oh, Turner's got the move done already. Tim Bob is going very slow. I'm assuming he must be extremely low on fuel.
Yeah, let's have a little look. He has requested a pit stop, it says on my screen. Virtual energy is dropping there because he's down to 2.7, but he's just past the pits. It's probably about 3% a lap, so it's going to get really close. I can't quite see what fuel he's got.
Look how much he's saving. He lifted like 100 metres before the breaking point.
Indeed, yeah.
He's going to try squeeze it because he's got a big enough gap. Oh, Raphael has come in for fuel, but it's completely irrelevant because if it hits 0, he's got that stop-go penalty, which will drop him. Ooh, I'm not sure. What is it? A stop-go 100?
I think it's a 130-second penalty. It's incredible.
Oh.
So yeah, it's never worth, risking that. I think it's absolutely intense. Matt is talking. We haven't been on board as much because the GT3s have been entertaining, let's just say. Ockenden has ran away with this. Ockenden, where did he qualify? Wasn't it 4th or something? Yes, qualified 4th, up 3 places. Obviously, both our leaders, the leaders before, but no, the race is over.
Is he finished? I was like, what's gone wrong?
Yeah. So great job from them. Here comes Matthias Fuskin as well. Great improvement from them, up 4 places. So great job. Ben Law currently in 3rd, comes home 3rd, I'm sure. Unless we go on board and there's 0.0 energy remaining, which I can't see. And he's an LMP2, so what am I talking about? They don't have that.
Ollie Laws is in the pits, but has he finished?
I'm going to say yes. Because he's a lap down.
Yes. Dean Smith. Has Dean Smith finished now?
He has.
He's doing a victory lap. Some points won there. I'm happy with that. Ooh, there we go. 41,000 points have been awarded.
Oh, very nice.
So happy with that. As we see Dan Stevens coming. Yeah, that. Oh, Raphael down in 13th.
Yes.
Has it applied his penalty yet?
It has, because he's down in 5th in class.
That's a kick in the nether regions, isn't it?
Yeah, and obviously not only has he had a 130-second penalty, I believe, he's got, unless you only get that at the end when you cross the finish line, I'm not sure, 140 seconds stopped, 2 minutes 16 seconds in the pit lane. So he must have had a penalty that he had to apply in the pit stop. So really is disastrous. I think there's no other word for it.
Yeah, he's dropped behind Tim Bob, so he's went from potentially second place to 5th.
Yes.
That race was a bit all over the place, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, very much so. Let's put the full order on if it's going to let me. It has been bugged recently. No, it hasn't worked. So we'll do this one instead, I think. Yeah. Let's do that one. There we go. So obviously, Matthias Oquidin coming home first in the LMP2 field, as we said, up 3 places from the start. So excellent job, obviously, after Ryan Davies and Ollie Knowles dropped it into the bin. Matthias Fuskin second there. So another great result, as we saw. Ben Law claiming the final podium spot. Ollie Knowles coming home 4th. Obviously, a lap down. However, Dean Smith, 5th. Great job. Really great job there. For Toy, 6th. Dan Stevens, 7th. Fiona Zombie, which is on the next page. There we go. Nope, sorry, Fiona Zombie there. Mark Gretschel, Ryan Davies rounding out the top 10. I keep getting Ryan Davies and I was confused. I apologise. Matt Hagan on the next page, DNFing, obviously, unfortunately. Max Farrell, who we saw a lot of early on, obviously retired from the race, DNF'd, along with Leon Vespers, who actually DNS'd. So not a great race for them. In the GT3 field, we have Athel Baskar claiming victory at the end there from Stefan Reinhardt. Nathan Turner claiming the final podium spot. And another manufacturer as well, Tim Bob in 4th. Again, the Mustang in 5th of Raphael. Great race from them, really, despite their final penalty. But it's something I think every LMU driver learns one way or the other. Norman Bruce, another Ferrari, followed by Brian Anderson, who leads from Darren Wilkes. Max Savchuk, another lap behind, apparently, ahead of Ben Meyer, who claims the final top 10 spots, with John Cotty DNFing, unfortunately.
I think his McLaren is still stuck in the tyre barrier.
Yeah, I think so.
I haven't used a digger to pull it out.
Yeah, it did. Fiona in chat saying, things happened and I do not understand. They do happen. They do happen.
Yeah, Fiona looks like she had an entertaining race. She wants a full race entertaining. Cold track conditions are great because it causes carnage, and that's what we like to see.
14 degrees there at the end was the track, so only really improved 3 degrees across the hour. So yeah, really, if you take too much out of your tyres early on, it doesn't make sense strategy-wise to change them. So you're going to be dealing with graining, maybe flat spots, really going to be really tricky. And even your brakes as well, trying to get those to a decent temperature. Incredibly tricky job. Yeah.
Amazing, but that is the penultimate race done. We have one more race left of this series. We are at Bahrain, the Formula One layout.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting seeing the LMP2s try brake at turn 9-10, the downhill left-hander. I expect a lot of lockups there. It is a night race, so track temperatures aren't going to be great again. Looking forward to it, and then after that, it'll be getting ready for the next season, where we have some prizes in store.
Oh, very nice.
Just surprises, not prizes. Johnny will go mad at prizes.
That's so funny. So this was the standings, by the way, before the race today. I've just seen if they're being updated. Oops, wrong button. There we go. Obviously, Leon Vespers was leading in the LMP2 field, just ahead, really, of Max Farrell and Otto Harkin, very, very close behind. Matthias Oquidin there in 4th and Paul O'Grady in 5th. We didn't see tonight. He yet to sign out, unfortunately. Similarly, it's quite close. Oh, go on.
What'll be interesting is Farrell didn't finish, Harkin didn't race, and Leon didn't start. So Oquidin has just purely gained on everybody.
Well, I do have the new results if you'd like to see them. I've just got them here.
Go on.
Here we go. There we go. So Leon Vespers still leads. Matthias Oquidin has obviously jumped up to there. Obviously, Leon Vespers stayed where they were in terms of points. Max Oquidin jumped up, replaced Max Farrell, who obviously didn't gain any points either. Also, Harkonnen there as well. Ben Law has made an appearance there, but a bit of a gap, it seems, in the GT3 field. Baskar still leads, obviously widens that gap massively to P2 in class, which is now Tim Bob leads from Brian Anderson and Brendan Rooney, not Ben Rooney. Brendan Rooney, who's very, very close, and Mark Bryson's made an appearance there in the final spot.
Well, Bryson and Rooney did not race tonight, so Brian Anderson and Tim Bob have gained 3 positions, really. What will be interesting next week is to see the showdown potentially between Aquadent and Visperus.
Yeah. It is now final race, as you said. No rain, I think. Let me have a quick peek. No, it's sunny.
Well, as sunny as it can be at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I know. I just saw that. Warm, at least. That could be guaranteed, I suppose. I think that's a good one to end on, Bahrain.
Yeah, like you said, it's going to be night, so the track temperature is going to be better than Sebring, but still not great. The drivers, everyone knows Bahrain. It should be a familiar track to everyone.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to fight for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Very much looking forward to that. It's the final of the series, a final of the season, obviously, for us, oNiD. But there's a special personalised message for you, Dave, in the chat there from Dean.
I've just seen it. Well, Dean, I'd call you on back, but you've won me a lot of channel points, so we'll leave it there.
Indeed. And Fiona as well, just confirming it was entertaining being the synonym for pain. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that's fair enough, I guess, from a driving perspective.
Some people like that thing.
That's also true.
It's been entertaining for us, at least. I hope the people watching have found it entertaining, because, yeah, we promised a ballet and we got one.
We did. If someone wants to put a compilation together, a little of the clips, and put some Tchaikovsky over it, I would love that in Discord. Feel free. Again, if there's any clips that anyone wants to make, any memes, honestly, it's great banter. We love it. So do enjoy that. And if you're not already in the Discord, go ahead and join us, because that's where all the real fun is, let's be honest.
Yes,
so
that is true.
That's true.
Yep. There's a Discord in the chat. Come and join the Madhouse. As Sam said, that's where we have the real fun. Get involved with racing with us. We run LMU, Assetto Corsa, iRacing. And if you're lucky enough, you'll get Sam making a compilation video about you.
You'd have to be incredibly lucky. But yeah, we did do one of Ryan on stream live. That was interesting. But yeah, thank you again, everyone, for joining us in chat. Thank you for the banter. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening in the background. Thank you for racing with us. But Dave, unless you have anything else?
Thank you for spinning, everyone.
Exactly. But we'll see you all next Wednesday for some more Sim Hound Academy. But we've got plenty of other racing throughout the week, so you might as well follow or subscribe. But until we're back, we'll say goodnight.
See you later.
Bye-bye.